So, Courtney, what is your orientation to the Wiz, the property, the show?
Yeah, so my orientation to the show is that grew up watching the film, not a lot, maybe not until high school or college. Kind of scared me a little bit, but there were some songs that I really liked in there. And then there was a very strange opportunity to have a step show performance in college. I'm not Greek, but we had this like Black engineering nerdy group, and we did step shows.
I love this.
It's just long story, but we you could pick themes, and one of the themes that we picked was the Wiz. So there's a photo of me in like Tin Man attire, and we choreographed to that and all that. And I was like, oh, this is really cool. Fast forward again, the Wiz live blew me away. I
Mm.
mean, I followed all the casting announcements, any press interviews that I could find. I just loved it. And then it's really been one of the top like cast albums that I've listened to since it since it aired. So really the biggest thing for me has been the Wiz live, but the my Wiz fandom probably started somewhere around like late teens, early 20s.
Nice, nice. So, when did you see this production of The Wiz and where?
Yeah, so I saw this production of The Wiz in November, the weekend before Thanksgiving. I saw it in Atlanta. I saw it with my mom and one of my best friends at the Fox Theater. Um, and as you know, it blew my mind. Yes.
And what is your orientation to this production?
Yeah, so for this production, I had started my blog Black Theater Nerd, which has now become like digital content creation, things that I never could have imagined. And through that, I started to follow and like really perk up when I saw any sort of announcements about the show. So from the point that the show was announced, any casting announcements, interviews with Shelley Williams, all the way through, I have been completely obsessed. I made like a corkboard map of like where I could see the show. Like, should I go to Chicago? Should I go to New York? Should I go to Atlanta? Very like, whoa. But yeah, just followed as much behind the scenes information as I could, all the way up to the point where a week before I was going to see the show, I was like, you know what? I'm going to track my journey to seeing the show. So I crafted cast gifts for Melody Betts and Michelle Lewis. And I've done pretty much everything that I typically do for a show, except for trivia. I'm kind of saving the best for last.
Hmm.
But I like did a deep dive of the program.
Nice.
I've since bought the vintage
Yes.
visual. What else do I have? I did like a, oh my gosh, what outfit I'm gonna wear, with vintage t-shirt,
Nice.
um anything that I could think of that would like amuse me, would like let people know about the show. um so
I
yeah.
love it. I love it. Can you share a few of your joy crumbs from your Wiz viewing experience?
Oh yeah, so the first thing that stands out to me is the updated book by Amber Rutten.
Mm-hmm.
I saw the show at True Colors Theater in Atlanta like 5 months beforehand. They did like a lemon pepper whiz, which was very adorable. But because I had seen it 5 months prior, I could remember the book. And I
Mm-hmm.
also watched the Wiz live right before.
Mm-hmm.
So when Amber is talking about like adding moments like questions of what really is home, or changing the dynamic between like the core three men, just different things that she purposefully changed,
Yeah.
that really resonated with me. Because in watching the Wiz live back again, I was like, this book is really outdated. Like
Mm-hmm.
I don't connect to this personally. I connected to the artistry of that, but
Mm-hmm.
not the book.
Mm-hmm.
Other details that I really loved, I got to see the makeup close up because I stage doored, so that was really exciting. The costumes were really striking to me. I sat way in the back, but I could still see like the glistening from the costumes. Choreography crushed. Cast chemistry was really strong to me. Every single thing Melody did as Eveline blew my mind. So yeah, those are like the main, kind of joy crumbs that I thought about.
Nice. And what's still resonating or sticking with you from the experience?
Oh, a lot. So partially because I still follow press interviews, I just hear more and more about the origins of the show, the changes, the updates. I feel like getting to know the cast a little bit better and their background. It all is still really sticking with me. Definitely excited to see Wayne Brady's take, but really enjoyed Alan Mingo. And then just like listening to the Wiz Live cast album again now, and then looking forward to what this cast album will bring. It just keeps, it just keeps going for me. So yeah.
Cool. Is there anything you think people should know, consider, or keep an eye out for about this production?
Oh yeah. Things that folks should know. I remember like you had sent me a brief on it, and Vaughn Lampley, the Wiz historian, had also talked about this. Biggest thing to know is this is not an adaptation of the Wizard of Oz movie that folks saw, with Judy Garland. Like that's not, the two are not the same. This is an adaptation of what is it? L. Frank Baum? Is
L.
that
Frank
his name?
Baum. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's an adaptation of his original book. So it's not like the Wizard of Oz, like, but black. It's not.
Right.
It has nothing to do with that. So that's really big. The other thing is when you watch a lot of theater creatives interviews, if they're asked by an interviewer what's the first Broadway show that they saw, many times they say The Wiz. Queen Latifah in her interviews for Kennedy Center's Honors, she was like, the first time I saw The Wiz, and I saw Stephanie Mills in particular. Different iterations through time, concerts and all that. Like, I think it's cool for people to watch little clips of that to get themselves prepared for this. Know that it's not exactly the same, but it's just fun to see it like change and morph over time. I think people should really pay attention to the young folks in this cast, especially people making their Broadway debuts, because you will see their names in like, again, many, many years to come. I'm excited to see more merch. I'm excited to see like funny, kind of like irreverent merch, like the funeral, kind of t-shirt or whatever, like stuff that's so quirky you have to have seen the show to know it. Oh, I left out one thing. I have this artwork right here. Yeah, this was my Christmas / like 4-year wedding anniversary present. Things like that that are inspired from just seeing the show or even just seeing production stills of the show.
And that was Travis's artwork.
I think so. I think that's his name. I'm also excited for people to think through like, okay, if you can't see it in New York, it's going to tour again. They've already announced that it's touring again. Make plans to go with your family in the nearest city, to you. And then the other thing is all of the like content creation that will come out of this. Like I'm excited for my own personal trivia, but Tiffany Sutton from what is it? Follow the Yellow Brick Girl. Like whatever, outfit she'll create for it. Jarrell Henderson, who does Black Theater Vinyl Archive, the things that he'll create, of course, Vaughn, just some of the stuff that's going to come up. Oh yeah, Caseen Gaines book coming up in 2025, 54 Below concerts, like all these things that will be launched from this. That's, like seeing the show is one thing, but I just love how you can continue, like it continues to live on after. That's something I'm really looking forward to, because the Wiz Live was like that. Every single day, people use those songs over their reels and their videos and different things, and it's going to be like that. So yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to.
Cool. Those are all my questions.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm curious. So it's sounding like you had Black Theater Nerds going before this Wiz moment specifically. So I'd love to hear more about that and your connection to theater. I heard a little about engineering. I just would love to connect some of these dots.
Yeah. So in many ways, the dots don't really connect. It's kind of like a potpourri. Yes.
Love it. Even better.
That's great.
She's one of us. She's one of us.
So it's a winding road, but